Hi. Hello. Good day, mamas. How are you? Good to be with you for 25 minutes. My name is Fanny, and today a prenatal flow for your pelvic floor, especially. But yeah, we're going to work also on engaging other muscles, of course, but that will be the focus of our practice. So make sure to have blocks with you. It's always helpful during the practice. Something going on with the sound here. Let me do something about that. And then we can start. Give me a second. Yes. So let's get started. So sitting in a cross-legged position, using your blocks under the sit bones. If you feel that your knees are going a little bit too high over your hips, this way with the block you can elevate yourself a little bit. Sitting nice and tall. Allow your eyes to be closed. For now we are resting the hands onto the lap. Taking that moment away out of your busy day for yourself and your baby. A moment to work on building that connection between your body and your mind, but also building that bond between your baby and yourself. So allow yourself to be fully here, fully present in your practice. Becoming aware of the sensations in your body and mind. Try to keep your chin slightly in to soften the neck. And we're going to bring our hands onto our belly, starting to deepen the breath here. Big inhale through the nose. Deep exhale through the nose as well. Always make sure not to hold your breath. You're either inhaling or exhaling. And let's see if we can breathe equally. Breathing in for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhaling fully for 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue. Inhale fully. 4, 3, 2, 1. And we let go. 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue at your own pace. Noticing the movements of your belly. Noticing that expansion as you breathe in. And the belly falling down as you breathe out. Keep on breathing. Keeping the eyes closed, let's see if you can bring your attention to the pelvic floor muscles. As you inhale, allowing the pelvic floor muscles to release down. And as you exhale, allowing them to lift up. Try bringing your attention there, staying with your pelvic floor muscles. Notice that opposite forces here. Inhaling, lifting the diaphragm, and at the same time releasing the pelvic floor down. And exhaling the opposite movement. So that's the area of the body we'll be focusing on today. Trying to strengthen and lengthen the pelvic floor muscles. One last round. And then exhale, release your hands back onto your lap. We're keeping the eyes closed for now, bringing our hands onto the shoulders, left hand onto the left shoulder, right hand onto the right shoulder. And you're gonna start drawing some small circles with your elbows, doing that in one direction. Maybe with time the circles are getting a little bit bigger, bringing some awareness onto the shoulders. We do that in one direction, and then we change directions. And then release. We're sending the arms overhead. Inhale. Exhale, both hands in front of you. We're moving towards our tabletop position on our hands and knees. So, here you are in your tabletop. And we're going to find some cat-cow stretches here first. Inhaling to gently arch the spine, not too much. Exhaling to round the back. Tailbone is in. Inhaling, we gently arch, not overdoing it. Exhale to round, Inhale to gently arch. Exhale, we round. We stay here, pressing the hands down. Keep on breathing. Top of the feet flat onto the mat. And exhale to release. Coming back to our neutral spine. From here, we're gonna press our hands down slightly more forward. You're tucking the toes under, and we're gonna start lifting the hips up, finding a downward facing dog. So create as much space as you need in between your feet, making space for your growing belly, and then start moving from side to side, first getting used to the pose. Feel your palms pressing down onto the mat. And breathe. Becoming aware of your pelvic floor muscles here as well. So it's basically the space between your pubic bone and your sitting bones. Breathing, gazing towards your ankles, relaxing the neck. And you're going to create some space, extra space, in between your feet, so they're mat distance apart at this point. And we're bending the legs. Breathing in here, widening the pelvic floor muscles. And on the exhale, you're straightening the legs, engaging the lower abs, squeezing the pelvic floor muscles. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. We're doing that a few times. Inhale, bend the legs, widen the pelvic floor muscles. Exhale, straighten the legs, engaging the lower abs, engaging the pelvic floor muscles. Inhale, bend your legs and open. Exhale, straighten and engage. Doing that a few more times. Do it at your own pace. Make sure to breathe as you move and to notice what's happening in this part of the body, the pelvic floor. It's a very subtle movement, subtle sensation. One last round. And then we come back to our downward facing dog, bringing the feet slightly closer together and releasing the knees back onto the mat. We take a child's pose here for a few rounds of breath. Have your knees widely apart. Forehead resting down, either onto a block or onto the mat. And from there, we are moving back towards our tabletop position. So, aligning your wrists with your shoulders. Knees can be a bit more than hip width distance if needed, but still aligned with your hips. And from there, we start to lift the right knee up towards the side, opening the leg as if you were like in a peeing dog. Yes. And on the exhale, bringing that knee back onto the mat. We're gonna do this a few more times. Inhale, engaging the lower abs, opening that leg. Exhale to release. Once more, inhale, lift up, feeling the pelvic floor muscle that's engaged here. Exhale to release. Last time, inhale to lift. Exhale to release. Very nice. Do any movement that feels good at this point. Maybe going for some hip circles here in one direction. And then in the opposite direction. Sorry. Coming back to center, we go for the other side. So inhale to lift that left knee up. Exhale to release it down. Again, doing that a few times. And making sure you notice what's happening in your pelvic floor muscles here again. You're in control, engaging the pelvic floor muscles as you lift up and releasing as you go down. And gently you release, tabletop position. Again, take a moment to move here, doing anything that feels good. And then we meet back in center, tabletop position. If you need a blanket under the knees, feel free to have one or a block in between your knees. And then we're gonna move towards our melting heart. So you're extending your arms forward and down, finding a melted heart, maybe supported version with a block against the chest if it helps. Just, notice what feels right for you. And you want to keep your hips aligned with your knees, creating some space in between your knees, relaxing your shoulders down, feeling that nice stretch in the entire spine. Option to stay here, or if you want to feel an extra stretch in your biceps, you might want to bring your hands together in a reverse prayer position behind your head. So staying here in your melting heart, you're breathing, and see if you can send your breath to your pelvic floor muscles here as well. Feeling as you inhale, you're allowing your pelvic floor muscles to open and widen. And as you exhale, you're slurring everything, engaging the lower abs, engaging the pelvic floor muscles. Doing that a few times. Inhale to notice that opening. Exhale to engage the abs and the pelvic floor muscles. Inhale to widen. Exhale to lift up the pelvic floor muscles. Few more rounds at your own pace. If you had your hands behind your head, bring them back onto the mat in front of you. So everyone should have the arms extended forward at this point. And from here, you start walking your hands back towards you, lifting the torso up in a hero position. And here we're gonna move towards a standing pose. So if you feel a bit wobbly today, feel free to go towards the wall and use it as a prop to support you in this pose. So I will demonstrate it next to the wall. So you're basically against the wall, spine against the wall, back against the wall, creating space in between your feet. Take your time, toes pointing towards opposite direction. So, and here we're gonna reach the arms overhead. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. On the exhale, you start to bend your legs and bend the arms, finding a goddess pose. So try to use the wall to keep that spine connected to it. Making sure not to overarch the spine here as much as possible. And we're gonna bring some movement into that pose, making it a bit more dynamic and with a focus on the pelvic floor muscles. So on your next inhale, straighten the legs, send the arms up. Feel the pelvic floor muscles widening. Exhale, bend your legs, bend the arms. Notice what happens with the pelvic floor muscles. They're lifting up. Inhale, lift up. Release the pelvic floor muscles. Exhale, bend. Engage the pelvic floor muscles. Inhale, lift. And exhale, bend. Maybe closing the eyes to really notice what's happening in the body. Doing that a few times. Feeling your feet actively pressing down. Inhale, lift. Last time. Exhale, bend. We are staying here. Your arms can stay here, or you can have your hands resting down onto your lap with your palms looking up or down as you prefer. Staying here. Try to have the tailbone in. We breathe. So now we are working on our legs, making them nice and strong. I'm sure you can feel it already. If that feels too much, then just release the pose. If you feel you can go for a little more breath here, feel free to stay here and maybe go a little deeper into the pose. We breathe. gently come out of the pose. Very good. We're gonna stay next to the wall using a block for that last pose. So you're gonna have a block next to you onto the floor next to the wall. And you're gonna place one of your foot, the one that's closest to the wall, so for me it's the right foot, onto that block. Right hand is onto the wall. So you're supporting yourself with the wall. And you're straightening that leg, right leg for me. And for him, just staying here, breathing. So the left foot is not touching the block. It's just hovering here. You're breathing. And you start to bring some movement onto that left leg, moving the foot from the back to the front, from the back to the front. Doing that a few times. Feel free to keep that standing leg, the right leg, micro bend if needed, if it feels nicer. If you feel super steady, feel free to have your hands in front of the chest, knowing that the wall is always there next to you in case you start feeling a bit wobbly. Keep on breathing. Slowly release your hands using the block here, the wall here again, to release the pose, bending that right leg and releasing both feet down. We take a moment to shake the legs, notice the differences between both sides. And we're going for the other side. So if you had the right foot onto the block, now it's time for the left foot to go onto the block, using the wall here again. And breathe, flexing the other foot, so the right foot. And we start adding some movements here, maybe one hand in front of the chest, maybe two. See how that feels. Using the wall to support you. If you feel wobbly, it's always there. And again, feel free to micro bend that standing leg, the left leg. Releasing your hands, left hand onto the wall, and then moving out of the block. Shaking your legs. We're moving back onto our mat, getting ready for our final pose. So you get to lay down on your side, favorite side. So finding your fetal position, grabbing anything that makes you feel good. So it might be a block in between both legs or under both legs. You might want to add a blanket here under your side, torso, to feel a bit more comfy. And then support your head either with a block or with your lower arm, placing the other hand onto the belly to connect with your baby. Eyes closed. So this pose is just for you to fully relax, to fully let go. Noticing your breath without trying to change anything to it. Just noticing the movements of the belly, the breath coming in and out, without you having to do anything about it. Just trusting the natural process. Trusting that your body is capable of it. And enjoying that feeling of having nothing else to do but to relax and connect with your growing baby. And feel free to stay here for a little while, enjoying that time you're creating for yourself. Thank you for joining this practice, and I'll see you soon. Enjoy the rest of your day.